Thanks for tuning in to Steel City Football, the 4-1-2. It's a great day to be a Pittsburgh Steeler. Let's jump right in. So I read an article today and I was absolutely furious. Peter King, he comes out and he admits that he didn't vote for Troy Polamalu in his Hall of Fame voting, that he tried to get cutesy with his voting because he wanted to see other guys make the Hall of Fame and he knew Troy would get in. And this is a major problem in the NFL. This is a major, major problem in the NFL these days. Whether it's Roger Goodell, people like Peter King, all of these idiots, and that's what they are. They are destroying the National Football League. They are destroying it. Don't let them fool you. All the rules against the defenses, they want the score to be 45-10 every game. They think this is Pac-10 college football. The political messaging, all the garbage that you're going to see. And don't worry, that garbage only gets worse this Sunday with Bad Bunny performing. You know, a man that likes to get dressed as a woman and walk in 10-inch high heels. But leave it to Roger Goodell. Leave it to Roger Goodell to partner up with Jay-Z and Rock Nation. Jay-Z hates America. You know, he's always walking around saying how great Cuba is. You know what, Jay-Z? Do us all a favor. Go live over there. And when you can only put gas in your car once a week, and you can only go food shopping once a week, and you live like the rest of the people live in Cuba, let me know how you like it then, you effing moron. And this article really has me hot with Troy Polamalu. It really does, because Troy, you don't think that he should be a first ballot Hall of Famer, Peter King? You're a genius, right? You claim to be one of the greatest writers in NFL history, Mr. Integrity. But he wants to get cutesy with his vote. He doesn't want to vote Troy Polamalu in first ballot Hall of Famer. Now, this was a while ago, but I'm reading the article today, and that's why I'm talking about it today. Let me pull up the article, and we'll go from there. Roger Goodell, he really, oh man, if anybody knows how to get under my skin, it is Roger Goodell. He just pisses me off. The one thing that I love on this planet more than anything, the most beautiful thing in the world, when Pat Summerall was around, when John Madden was around, the National Football League was absolutely beautiful. It was perfect. The uniforms were perfect. The hitting was perfect. It was an escape from your everyday life where you just saw something beautiful, where you were fully engaged. And what do we have now in 2026? What do we have now in 2026? Let me tell you what we have now. We have a league, we have an idiot like Roger Goodell who pushes gambling down everybody's throats every second of the day. The NFL is a total cesspool at this point. Who they'll shove that down your 18-year-old son's, throat. Hey, gamble your life savings away. No big deal. Let's just gamble it away. But hey, we can't have hard hitting on the field. We don't want players to get hit over the middle. Oh, you were too rough. You stood up after you tackled somebody. You stood up over them and you taunted them. How dare you? But Roger Goodell wants to preach integrity to you. Roger Goodell wants to preach morality and ethics to you, and like having some type of moral compass as he promotes gambling and turns the NFL into a cesspool and rams it down your throat, because that's what he's doing. That's all you see on every channel. Gambling, 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 gambling with the NFL. So you're not trying to keep legitimate fans anymore. You're trying to influence them to only watch the game through gambling. That's what Roger Goodell is trying to do. So he took the beautiful, godly NFL and he turned it into a cesspool. And now his minions, people like Peter King, who are supposed to have an integrity and just say, you know what, I'm here to do a job. I'm going to leave my personal feelings out of it, how I feel. I'm not going to get cutesy with my vote. And I'm going to vote for the best players to make it into the Hall of Fame. And when you see who Troy was up against, like Steve Atwater, yeah, great player. The players that Troy was up against, it's a no-brainer that Peter King should have voted for Troy Polamalu to get to the Hall of Fame. And what did he admits it? Oh, I regret it to this day. I was trying to get cutesy with my vote. I didn't vote Troy in because I'm going to read the article in a minute. I'm really stirred up right now. And don't worry, this Sunday with Bad Bunny on stage, this moron's going to come out and he's going to bash Trump. He's going to bash the president. He's going to use this stage, the Super Bowl halftime. Mark my words. He's going to use this. Bad Bunny, he's supposed to be doing a halftime show for the Super Bowl. It's supposed to be music only. But what are we going to get? What are we going to get? What does Roger Goodell allow? Roger Goodell allows a cesspool. We're going to get, we're going to get a man in a dress with 8-inch high heels who's bashing Trump, who's bashing the political climate of our country, who's going to bash ICE, and he's probably not going to even do the song in English. And Roger Goodell, he has no problem with this. It's just another way for Roger Goodell and the NFL to take a shit in everybody's face. And that's what he's doing. And it's just, Roger Goodell is a politician. And I've said this over and over and over again. Well, player safety, and we're about the player. If he was about player safety, there'd be no Thursday night football. Thursday night football is unwatchable. It's total garbage. The players can't recuperate from Sunday to Thursday. There wouldn't be an extra game added to the schedule. Now they want to add another game to the schedule. The NFL was beautiful the way it was. And the reason why I'm bringing Peter King into this is because it starts with Roger Goodell, and then you have all the idiots in media and all his minions who follow his lead and do dumb shit like Peter King. Oh, I'm not going to vote Troy Polamalu first-team Hall of Famer because I'm going to get cute with my vote. Oh, I want this guy to get in, and too many people are going to vote for Troy, and I know Troy's going to get in, so I'm not going to vote for him. It's just typical bullshit in the NFL. Where 20 years ago, it doesn't happen because you had real men leading the league. You had Paul Tagliabue leading the league. Now we have woke Roger Goodell, who teams up with Rock Nation of all music companies. Jay-Z openly hates America. So does his wife. And what are we going to get this Sunday during the Super Bowl? We're going to get more degeneracy. We're going to get more degeneracy. That's what we're going to get. Let me look at the super chats. Positive Pokes. Good day, sir. Good day to you. Positive Pokes. Don't tell me you're hyping up Will Howard No, I'm not hyping him up, Will Howard. Right now, I'm mad because I'm reading an article, and this happened a while ago, and Peter King comes out, and he admits that he didn't vote for Troy Polamalu for a first ballot Hall of Famer because he was trying to get cute with his vote. That's why I'm mad. But, yeah, I see that you're joking. I see that. But let me pull up this article real quick. It never ends, the NFL. The garbage with it never ends. At least I could say my Steelers, for the most part, try to stick to somewhat the traditions of the league, See if it comes up. Positive Folks. What offensive coordinator would want not to come here to not call plays? I hear you. Here, let me read this article. This is what's got me stirred up today. Peter King finally admits he was wrong leaving Troy Polamalu off Hall of Fame ballot. He explains why. He admits to what he did, and this is why Peter King should be banned, and he should never be able to vote on the Hall of Fame again. Earlier this week, news came out that former New England Patriots head coach Bill Belichick won't be part of the Pro Football Hall of Fame's class of 2026. His failure to get 40 of the required 50 votes in the coaching category was rather shocking. Now, let me put my 2 cents in about Bill. Bill brought this upon himself with its cheating. He took it to new levels. And I'm not saying that as a Steelers fan. I'm saying that as a football fan. It led to plenty of discussions regarding voters potentially holding personal vendettas. People also suggested voters punish Belichick years later for on-field issues like Spygate. Yet, the most likely reason that Bill Belichick didn't get into the Hall of Fame is that the voters overthought it. They probably tried to manipulate the voting and use their votes elsewhere. Most of them thought Belichick would be an easy selection for others. If anybody else comes out and admits that they didn't vote because they were trying to manipulate it, just like Roger Goodell has destroyed the entire National Football League, they need to be banned from voting on the Hall of Fame. They need to, the bullshit needs to end. The stuff with the hitting, the penalties against the defense. I don't want to watch Pac-10 football in the end of, I don't want to see scores 45-10, Roger Goodell. Hey, make sure to put your parlay in. Make sure to gamble your life savings away. Every 2 seconds, the gambling with DraftKings from Roger Goodell. You can't hit anybody on the football field, but he'll parade around men in dresses and high heels and force gambling down your throats so it destroys your kids' lives. But hey, no big deal. Positive pokes. I said that a lot of people don't like the Pats. I hear you. Yet the most likely reason. Oh, here we go. The Kansas City Stars' Vahi Gregorian, who has a Hall of Fame vote, used that explanation when he stated why he didn't vote for Belichick, and he should be banned too. The same thing that caused longtime NFL reporter and columnist Peter King to leave former Pittsburgh Steelers safety Troy Polamalu off his Hall of Fame ballot. All these years later, despite Polamalu being a first ballot Hall of Famer, King regrets not casting a vote for Polamalu. Because he's an idiot, that's why. And he thinks he's cute. And this is the problem with all these clowns. This is the problem with Roger Goodell. This is the problem with the media. They want to bring their politics into, they just can't do the right thing. They just can't say, you know what? I'm going to put my politics and feelings aside, and I'm just going to do the right thing. And it's just everywhere you go, there's no accountability anymore. There's no integrity in the way people do anything anymore. And I'm sick of it. King appeared on Between the Tackles podcast with former NFL reporter Manish Mehta. He discussed regretting not voting for Polamalu and why voters made a mistake with how Belichick's voting was handled. I used a similar rationale, which I came to regret that year that Troy Polamalu got in, King said. Expressing his regret for not voting for Polamalu, according to a video via the show's YouTube page. If you're on the Hall of Fame committee, you have to abide by the laws of the Hall of Fame, and the bylaws say that you have to vote for who you think is most deserving. Well, guess what? If he's admitting this, that he went against the rules, then why is he not banned from voting? He should be banned immediately for voting on the Hall of Fame. Positive Poke says, it's been like this in baseball for votings for years, nothing new. Well, you know what? It needs to change. We have all these woke idiots, all these people that bring their politics into sports. Sports is supposed to be an escape. And we're talking about Troy Polamalu, right? Look at the plays that Troy Polamalu made. He didn't just make plays, during the game. He made plays in the biggest moments, in the biggest time in the game, he made the biggest plays. Positive pokes. Does it come down to who is in the vote class or that position and stats? Look, I think you should just vote. It's pretty clear and obvious that you should have voted for Troy Polamalu, especially if you want to compare him to who else was in the class that year. I mean, Steve Atwater was a great player. He wasn't as accomplished as Troy. He didn't win his Super Bowls. I think he has one Super Bowl, maybe. I don't know. But statistically wise, they're kind of similar. But what I'm trying to say is, look at Troy's interception against the Baltimore Ravens to send the Steelers to the Super Bowl. He made plays like this routinely at the biggest times in the biggest games, and he was a major impact on the field every time he was on the field. And for anybody to dispute that is just lying through their teeth. And Peter King, he comes out and he admits this. Oh, I didn't vote for Troy because I was trying to manipulate something. He admits that he went against the bylaws. He admits that he went against the rules. And yet he'll still have a vote. That's why the NFL is a total effing joke at this point. And it's led by the total clown. It's led by a clown and Roger Goodell. Roger Goodell has single-handedly destroyed the NFL. The political messages, changing the rules, all the woke idiot nonsense. And then his woke idiot nonsense, who is Roger Goodell's biggest mouthpiece for the wokeness? ESPN. Who is Roger Goodell's pitbull? ESPN. They push the narratives. They pump the narratives into all the fans' minds that, it has to be like this. And it's just like when somebody gets hit really hard now in the game, everybody like freezes and waiting for a flag. That's Roger Goodell. That's Roger Goodell in a nutshell. Turn the NFL into a complete effing joke. It's a cesspool. No hard hitting on the field, but hey, make sure to put your parlay in today. The NFL signs off on that. If you look at every single podcast, what are they pushing 24 hours a day? FanDuel, Make sure, your bet on FanDuel. Let's gamble on the game. Is that a true fan? You only want people to pay attention to the NFL because they're gambling on the game? Does anything mean anything anymore? They can't even do the effing Hall of Fame voting right now. And you have people openly admitting, I didn't vote for Polamalu because I knew he would get in, but I'll still vote for next year and I'll pull my bullshit next year and there'll be no accountability anywhere for anybody. Roger Goodell, Mr., the moral fabric of society, effing clown. All right, let me get off this because I can carry on all day about this. If you listen to the show, you really know how much I can't stand him, Roger Goodell. So I'm going to just move on to the next story. I'm just going to go full Steelers football at this point. I don't want to go into the political realm too much. But there you have it with Peter King. He's just going to do the right effing thing. He's just going to do it. Now, I'm going to do it my way. You had these men. You had men that built the NFL from the ground up, from scratch. The most beautiful league out of all the leagues. And it was beautiful. It was such a beautiful thing. The hitting, the aggression, standing for the Pledge of Allegiance. We had real men playing the game. We had real patriots performing at halftime Super Bowl shows. And what did Roger Goodell do? He turned it into a cesspool. Now, when you watch a game, you get hit with FanDuel commercials 50 times in a 5-minute segment. Gamble. Oh, don't hit that guy in the field too hard. But hey, let's parade this man in a dress and high heels around. He's just Roger Goodell. You're just a disgrace. That's what you are. You're a disgrace. Let me turn the page. Steelers. Capoli says Steelers didn't offer Tolzien offensive coordinator job. This is just more news from around the coaching carousel of the NFL. 2 candidates for Mike McCarthy's offensive staff in Pittsburgh are reportedly staying put with the New Orleans Saints. Some seem to think Scott Tolzien and Chase Hazlitt turned down the Steelers' opportunity to remain in New Orleans. According to the Pat McAfee show, Steelers beat writer Mark Capoli said that isn't accurate. He didn't turn them down, neither one of them. They were told they weren't getting the job. Capoli said Tuesday via his Capoli and Mac podcast, "There's no such thing as removing my name from the consideration. They were told, see ya, you're not getting the job. Hazlitt never had a chance, 0. That was an agent through a person who just wanted to get a name out there. 0 chance. Don't even look at that. Tolzien, he was probably informed today that they were going in a different direction. Trust me on this one." Positive Poke said, "They just getting that coach from the Vikings used to coach McCarthy. It's just a stand there job like a Terrell Austin. Who wants that? Shocker." Now, I mean, I don't know. I think that Mike McCarthy is going to do things totally different than Mike Tomlin. So I think they would have more input than that. And the reason why I say that is, I don't think that he would be bringing in all these. He's bringing in a lot of coaches. If he wasn't going to listen to them to some degree, why would he bring them all in? Just to pay them, just to stand there? So, like Tomlin, he had the smallest coaching staff for 19 years, probably because he knew they were just going to stand there. So why hire him? Because Tomlin had all the control. Lions fan files $100 million defamation lawsuit against DK Metcalf and the Steelers. And guess what? They deserve it. You know why they deserve this? You know why they deserve this lawsuit? Because everybody knows that this man did not call DK Metcalf the N-word. And I've said this a million times. The security guards are black. There was other people in the section that were black. Nobody heard this man screaming the N-word at the top of his lungs. DK Metcalf said this man was screaming the N-word at the top of his lungs inside a stadium. You put his picture all over the news. And the Steelers and DK Metcalf, you deserve this lawsuit. You really do. Instead of just doubling, instead of saying, hey, I messed up, sorry, turn the page, you doubled down and you said he used a racial slur. We all know it's bullshit. So you deserve whatever you get for this. Positive Poke said McCarthy said he wouldn't coach if he can't call the plays. No, that's definitely true. McCarthy did say that. But, during the course of the game, it's nice to have other people standing around you. like pointing things out to you that you might not have saw, and then you make a final decision. Yeah, okay, Chad. Chad Johnson. He's eating this story up. Yeah, I know. DK Metcalf. He called me the N word. No, he didn't, DK. No, he didn't. And he didn't. So you deserve to get sued for all the money that, whatever he's asking for. You're full of shit, DK Metcalf. We all know you're full of shit. So Roger Goodell would have loved if that was true, because it would have been a teaching moment for everybody. The fan would have been banned for life. Again, I saw the video. There was multiple black people in that area. And DK Metcalf wants you to believe that this fan was screaming the N-word at the top of his lungs in an arena and nobody else heard him. Just give me a break. Not in the mood today after reading the Peter King article. Not in the mood for the garbage today. Report: Steelers to interview serious candidate Brian Angelico for offensive coordinator position update. Vikings tight end coach Brian Angelico is meeting today with Steelers about joining Mike McCarthy's staff as offensive coordinator, tight end coach per sources. Angelico, a former Pitt assistant, was McCarthy's tight end coach for 3 seasons in Green Bay. Oh, we have another Green Bay connection. All I'll say is let's hope that all these coaches that are coming in with the Green Bay connection are the coaches that helped McCarthy win a Super Bowl when he was in Green Bay. Cam Hayward reveals motivation to potentially return for another season with the Steelers. Played great last year. Excuse me. He played great last year. Positive Poke says the chance of a 6th-round quarterback being anything plus Ohio State's offenses don't transfer well to the NFL. I mean, yeah, you have very valid points there. But the size. Look at what he did at Kansas State, right? When Will Howard was at Kansas State, I think they were 2 games away from the national championship, maybe 1. He elevated Kansas State. He played outstanding competition when he won the national championship. He's 6'5", 240 pounds. He's as big as Josh Allen, but can he play like Josh Allen? It remains to be seen. It's too soon just to turn the page. He didn't even get into the preseason last year because he broke his finger. So if he can't beat out Aaron Rodgers, if Will Howard can't beat out Aaron Rodgers, then let Aaron Rodgers be the quarterback. But if he can beat out Aaron Rodgers, then let's see what he can do. He lost his job to Skylar Thompson twice. Who lost their job to Skylar Thompson twice? Not Mason Rudolph. Will Howard was a rookie last year. And he was hurt. He didn't lose his job to Skylar Thompson. All right, let's see what Cam had to say. I don't think Will Howard lost his job to Skylar Thompson. One, I think he's trying to win a Super Bowl, having the opportunity to compete. That's why you play this game, Hayward said. 2, I think it's just installing my legacy further. I feel like I still have more work to do on the field, off the field, and then continue to teach the younger guys, continue to learn from them, just continue to keep growing. Well, we're going to see, aren't we? We're going to see if the big man can still play. Oh, I didn't know Skylar Thompson went to Kansas State. I didn't know that. Thanks for pointing that out. I got to look that up. So you're telling me that Will Howard got beat out by Skylar Thompson at Kansas State? Yeah, well, eventually Will Howard took over for Skylar Thompson, didn't he? They went pretty deep into the playoffs from what I remember. I got to look up the exact years. There's something going on with the NFLPA wants stadiums like Acrisure to have better conditions. Don't just give us any grass surface. Hold on. The NFLPA is universally in favor of grass over turf fields, but that doesn't mean all grass fields are inherently good to play on. Acrisure Stadium has come under repeated criticism for often having poor field conditions that create injury risks. Interim union leader David White wants to see a change. The maintenance thing has kind of always been the biggest pushback, White said Tuesday at Tuesday's press conference. Keeping it in shape when you get deeper into the season or when you have just turning it over from a week and giving it time to recover. I think it's pretty unanimous that players want a grass surface. Obviously, that comes with don't just give us any grass surface now. Let's make sure this is a playable surface. Pittsburgh's grass surface faces challenges on several fronts. An outdoor stadium that is often at the mercy of harsh climate, as the last several weeks winter weather have reminded. The Steelers also share a playing field with the Pitt Panthers, a rarity for a college and NFL team. Each year, Acrisure also plays host to a slate of WPIL championship games that leaves the field beat up by the night's end. The surface came under intense criticism after a Week 6 game against the Cleveland Browns. By halftime, the middle of the field looked like more like dirt than grass. Safety Miles Killebrew tore his ACL while running down a kick, and even quarterback Aaron Rodgers questioned the safety of the field, calling the surface borderline unplayable. I don't know. I mean, all this money that you pay the players, you should have the best surface, but the weather is what the weather is, and grass is going to turn into what it turns into. Mud, slop, that's part of playing football. That's part of the game. The conditions. If it started out as grass and the field gets wet and cold, and then it turns into mud and it's damp, get the F over yourself. Like, what do you guys think this is? What do you think this is, Aaron Rodgers? You think this is like a country club where you go golfing and the conditions are just perfect for everybody? 85-degree temperature, not a cloud in the sky, surface perfect. It's football, man. Shut the F up already. I'm really hot right now. I really am. After reading the article of Peter King, I just had it, man. I really have had it with the NFL and their garbage. Analyst ranks Mike McCarthy second best head coach hired this year. Yinzer version of Mike Tomlin. He's a Yinzer version of Mike Tomlin, Hunt said recently on CBS Sports HQ. You just take out Mike Tomlin, you put in Mike McCarthy. You get the same dude because all they do is win. They raise the floor. The standard is the standard. Mike McCarthy's going to make sure this offense is locked and ready to go. Defensively, they're going to play solid defense because that's what Pittsburgh does. But it's the offense that's been the issue since Big Ben retired. I think this is where Mike McCarthy comes into play because we know he's a developer of quarterbacks. We will see a year this season of Pittsburgh Steeler football that still doesn't end in a losing season because they have Mike McCarthy. I absolutely agree. Positive Poke says, driving, enjoy the football. Oh, thanks, buddy. See you soon. Talk to you soon. Thanks for stopping in. I appreciate it. Let's see what else is going on. We do have some believers in Coach McCarthy. I'm one of them. Ex-Steelers linebacker Robert Spillane, he said this about the new defensive coordinator Patrick Graham. A true savant of the game. He went on to say, Robert Spillane, somebody who loves the game, somebody who I love to be around for 2 years. I was with them. Spillane said Tuesday per video from Cortina de Acero on X Twitter, a true savant of the game. Somebody who studies and loves the game, somebody who I really enjoyed my time with. So I was grateful to get to be with him. I think Spillane is going to the Super Bowl this year. Is he hurt? I think he might be hurt. He might not, but good for him. The Steelers kind of, not that they did him dirty, but they were like, oh, go check the free agent market and see what's out there and come back and we'll see if we can match it. He goes out and he's like, oh, this is what they offer me. And the Steelers like, okay, bye, take it. We don't want you back. You went shopping with another store. Get lost, loser. That's the way it always came across with me with Robert Spillane. They kind of did him dirty. Yeah, go out there, test the free agent market, and tell us what they offered, and come back to us. He goes back to the Tomlin and Khan. He's like, "Oh, the Raiders or whoever offered me this." They're like, "Okay, you could stay with them. Get lost." That was pretty funny. Of course, all these ESP analysts, the woke analysts. Oh, yeah, the Steelers are going to take a step back with Mike McCarthy. Now that Tomlin's gone, you're going to wish Mike Tomlin was back. No, I'm not. No, I'm not. I don't know what the hell these wokesters are talking about. This is exactly how I feel about Aaron Rodgers coming back to the Steelers. Don't see any downside in bringing back Aaron Rodgers, beat writer says. What's the worst thing that can happen? I agree. I don't see any harm in bringing him back whatsoever. I still think he plays extremely well for his age. I think he gives them the best chance to win right now. We know that's Art Rooney's priority. Mark Capoli said on the number one Conference Sports Showdown, what's the worst thing that can happen? Yeah, you got to play chess, not checkers. Got to leave your emotions out of it. You know, if we can't draft a quarterback and there's no better quarterback on the free agent market and Will Howard can't beat him out and Aaron Rodgers is the quarterback, then Aaron Rodgers is the quarterback and we're just going to have to do it again till we get our guy. That's it. I know that's not a popular answer, but that's a realistic answer. Let's say Will Howard and Aaron Rodgers compete for the job, the starting job, and Will Howard is completely terrible in the preseason and he looks like he never threw a football in his life. Are you still going to start Will Howard just to start him? No. Why would you do that? So you do what you got to do. You do what you got to do to survive until you finally become the king, the lion again, till you're the hunter, not the hunted. You do what you got to do. You know, these things come in cycles. It's a wave. Sometimes you're riding the best wave and sometimes you're on the bottom of the wave. Sometimes you just totally wipe out. It's a wave. The NFL is a wave. It goes in cycles. You know, you had Big Ben, one of the best quarterbacks to ever play the game. He played 20 years. You know, the last 2 or 3 years weren't that good, but whatever. If he doesn't ride a motorcycle without a helmet, doesn't break his jaw, who knows? Maybe you get a couple more years out of him. And when Ben was playing in the league, I don't think he had the best diet or he was drinking beer. I don't know what the deal was. But Ben right now looks like he's in better shape than when he was playing. That's just my opinion. Like when I see him on the podcast, he literally looks healthier now and in better shape than when he played in the NFL. Rogue X says, "What's up, 412? What's up with you, buddy? How are you?" Dallas was out of it early, huh? Jerry World came crashing down. It was like the roller coaster that went off the tracks. Yep. Well, I'm hot today. In case you didn't tune in, listening to this garbage from Peter King. I didn't vote for Troy Polamalu because to get into the hall, I wanted to be cute with my vote. I thought other people should got in. Oh, I knew Troy would get in, so I wasn't going to vote for him because I wanted to see this other person get in. Peter King needs to be banned from voting on future Hall of Fame inductees. Tired of the garbage, man. I'm tired of all of it. And this Sunday with Bad Bunny, it's gonna mark my words. I'm gonna end it with this. He's gonna come out in a dress. He's gonna come out in 7-inch high heels. The song's not gonna be in English. He's gonna bash Trump, bash America, bash ICE. And Roger Goodell is going to clap and stand up and cheer him on. And when all the fans are pissed off, he's going to take a dump in your face like he always does. You're the racist. You need therapy. You know, you need to be open-minded. You don't have any empathy. You know, we're going to get blamed for this effing moron. Rogue X says, I predict Steelers versus Cowboys next Super Bowl. That would be nice. Let's do it so we can stomp you into the dirt. That's what I would like. It's just a disgrace, you know. Great job, Roger Goodell. No more hard hitting, but hey, we're going to parade men around in dresses with high heels. We're going to promote gambling during every game. We're going to turn the NFL into a total cesspool. Oh, and then what did Roger Goodell do? Roger Goodell do also? He has this new person. Like they came up with this job title where he's telling the players, be nice to your rivals. Be nice to your rivals. Have them over and you can try on dresses and lipstick and mascara. And you can go shopping. right? It's just like, dude, it's so bizarre. I don't. I wish I knew the name of the title of the job off my hand. But he literally created a job for a guy that should be like writing poems and hugging trees, that he wants you to treat your rivals nice in the NFL. They want to take all the physicality out of the NFL. They want to take all the manliness. They want to make it a feminine game. They want to play two-hand touch. They want the score to beat 100-10. Nobody's supposed to get tackled. And then at halftime, we're going to parade grown men in dresses with high heels on. And when you say and also, right behind that screen, they're going to tell you, hey, if you want to put a $300 parlay in, encouraging your children to gamble. And then when you have a problem with the NFL, according to Roger Goodell and all of his corrupt, evil, vile business partners, you are the problem. You're the problem. You're the racist. Listen, I had it, man. I'm pissed today. I'll tell you, you got me stirred up reading that. Rogue X said it's going to be an awful performance. Of course it's going to be awful. That's what Roger Goodell hates us. He hates the average fan. He does. He wants us to gamble our life savings away. He wants your 6-year-old to chop his dick off if he was playing with a doll. He wants the family structure to be broken down. He wants all the out of these weird, unnormal things to be the norm. So now the NFL promotes all this degeneracy. That's what they do. Don't stand for the national anthem, but when a man gets up on stage and dressed in high heels and refuses to sing the song in English and disrespects the entire country, Roger Goodell wants you to stand up and he wants you to clap. And if you don't, you're the problem, right? Rogue X says, why can't we ever get George Strait or something? Who's George Strait? I don't know who that is. Tell me who that is. Come on, boss. Tell me. I'm waiting. Just so I know who you're talking about. With that type of name, it's probably a country singer. You don't vote for Troy Polamalu, falls first ballot Hall of Famer. No, I'm Peter King. Well, I'm going to be different. I'm going to be cute in my vote. They all do this bullshit. Remember Brian Cushing? He won Defensive Player of the Year. He fails a steroid test. They take the award away from him. They vote again. He wins it again. You don't think there's something wrong with that? Like, what the F is going... Like, everything is in reverse in 2026. What's good is bad, and what's bad is good. Welcome to the NFL. Rogue X says, what? The biggest country singer of all time? I'm sorry, bro. I don't listen to country music. I like rock music, 80, like soft listening music, 80s, 90s. Most of the bands I like are from California, LA Guns, Motley Crue, stuff like that. I don't think I've ever listened to country. Well, you know what? I listened to it one time. I had a friend, and we used to be. I can't really talk too much about job history, and he would play this one country song in the truck all the time, and it would sound like this. I got a pair of jeans and a t-shirt on a Friday night. Picked up my beer in a Chevy Tahoe. Had my fishing pole in the back of the truck. Got my favorite pair of ripped jeans on. Headed down to the fishing hole with my ATV in the back of the truck. I was like, nah, I'm good, bro. I'm good. I'll check them out, though, if you recommend them. I think I could be a country musician. I mean, the songs don't seem... I think I could do it. Pair of jeans and a cold beer on a Friday night. You like that, Rogue X? All right, I'm going to end it with that. Let me get out of here. I really had it today, man. It really pisses me off when I hear that Troy Polamalu story. But so I'm going to end it. And with that being said, thanks for tuning in to Steel City Football, the 4-1-2.